Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the podcast, Master Random, the podcast. I am your host, Boo Ada, and if you didn't know that, now you know, because this is 207 episodes, and I've been on every single episode. But that's besides the point. Welcome if this is your first time listening to the podcast, and welcome back if this is your 207th time listening to the podcast. And I hope you enjoyed this episode because this episode was fun. It was a live show. It was the third live show we've ever done. The first one was during the fashion trade show thrown by Jared Pastones. The second one was the live show for episode 200. That was fun. And this was fun too because we did the live show at the Payless Kick the Fat Health Smart Wellness Festival. I hope I got that right. And it was cool. It was really awesome to have the Master Random logo and the QR code on the race bibs so that everybody had the opportunity to see the Master Random logo on their race bibs. Whether they listen to the podcast or not, that's yet to be determined. But it was so cool to see the amount of people coming out and the benchmark that Payless's Kick the Fat has set for a lot of people who are looking to get healthy. And just to be a part of this big event was an honor. I just give a special shout out to Rose Calvo and Matt Scrow. They're a couple of my real good friends who also look out for the podcast and things I can do and opportunities I can take a hold of. And when the idea was presented to me, I said, hell yes. So we basically did the same thing we did in episode 200. We had all the headphones out to give people the opportunity to listen directly to the live podcast as it was happening. And yes, we did have a small audience. It was cool to be able to capture the amount of people that we did. The whole headphones idea is still a foreign concept to a lot of people who aren't sort of used to maybe silent discos or silent events. So just putting on headphones that aren't yours is kind of an eerie feeling, I would assume. But podcast wise, great. It was awesome from the get-go. Maybe I should start off with how our day started. So, or maybe how our day ended and then started. So we got to the fairgrounds maybe around 9 p.m. the night before, and we did a whole preliminary setup. We set up and broke down and kind of got an idea of what we're going to do. And then we crashed out for a few hours. By 3 o'clock, we were back up and loading all the headphones after charging them. And then by 4 o'clock, we were over to the festival grounds to start setting up. By 6, the race started at 6 o'clock. By 6:30, the 10K runners were starting to come in. Imagine that. The top runner was Derek Mendel at 33 minutes. And that's pretty freaking quick if you think about it. 5K, if you're running a mile at about 9-minute mile, you're looking at a 27-minute 5K. He's running a 10K, which is 6 miles. So you can imagine how fast, and the pace that he was running was probably incredibly fast. That being said, I had Derek Mendel come on maybe around 7 o'clock. And then immediately we talked for maybe about 10-15 minutes. And immediately after that, I was given the opportunity to have Mike Benito and Marie Benito come on to the podcast and talk about Kick the Fat, how it started. They were there during the born date, during the inception of Kick the Fat. And it was cool. It was cool about the details of the origin story of this great event that hosts up to 4,000 people and is the biggest 5K, 10K on the island. Also had the opportunity to have Julie Yamamoto on the podcast. She won the last Kick the Fat, I believe, in the Masters female division, and she won this year. And she's 75 years old. And the Kick the Fat event was her benchmark of her turning her lifestyle around to live a healthy life when she was 60 years old. So 15 years ago, she's been 15 years she's been running at Kick the Fat, and she's never turned back since. It was cool to have her on the show and talk to her. And also Claire Calvo. She runs Synergy Studios, and also she does her own podcast. Off the top of my brain, I cannot remember what her podcast is called, but once we find out more details, I'm looking at getting her on the show actually to talk more. She's into a lot of health and wellness, natural remedies and stuff like that. So I'm always curious as to people who live that lifestyle. You have to call it a lifestyle, because if you're just calling it for what it is, then what are they really doing it for? So she's really engulfed into that lifestyle, and look forward to having her on the show. And so we ended the whole thing at around 9:00, and we had about an hour and 30 minutes of conversation, which was exciting because we didn't really know who exactly we were going to talk to and what was going to happen. Even the night before, we had some backup plans, but we really wanted something that Payless, who throws Kick the Fat, what would best reflect them as a foundation, as a community and a foundation to have being done during the festival. Yeah. And that being said, I don't want to hold you back any further. I hope you enjoyed this live podcast. I hope these live podcasts happen more often, because they're really fun. They're kind of stressful to set up for, but when everything's said and done, the satisfaction of it happening and it being done is by far and large the best feeling in the world. So I hope you enjoy this conversation with a number of people: Derek Mendel, Mike Benito, Marie Benito, Julie Yamamoto, and Claire Calvo on the podcast during the Kick the Fat 2020 live show at the Health Smart Wellness Festival. Oh, did I even mention the sponsor? Let me go through the sponsor real quick. This episode is brought to you by Payless One. They are your one-stop for organic and natural products and education. They are your dedicated destination for organic food, home, health, and beauty products. Located next to the Dedido Payless. Go shop, learn, and stay healthy at Payless One. Open daily from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And that's it. That's the sponsor. So I hope you enjoyed this episode from the Payless Kick the Fat 5K 10K. And hopefully we get invited to do this next year. It was a lot of fun. And you can maybe hear it in my voice. It was a 7:00 voice. So maybe I was excited because of the coffee, or I'm just excited because I have the pure love of doing this podcast. It just brings so much joy to me. So much joy. Anyways, not to hold you back any further, I hope you enjoy this episode of the live podcast at Kick the Fat 2020. Check it out. We got an audience of 2 right now.
All right.
What's up, guys? We're talking to one of Guam's top runners, if not the top runner.
Depends on the day.
Yeah, how you feeling today?
Good. Yeah, the race was good.
It's nice because January, right, is like a nice, cool part of the year, and so is it for runners? Is it a preferred way or a preferred time to run, or does it really matter?
Yeah, like between January and the beginning of March, the weather is probably the best to run, especially like before the sun comes up.
Yeah.
Like it feels like, you're in probably Hawaii or something where it's maybe high 70s or mid 70s when you're running, but it's this race, no matter what time of the year it is, it's going to be a good time.
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, look at the turnout in this. there's got to be like 1,000 people at least in this area, right?
Well, it took me like a good 5 minutes trying to get past the people getting their drinks and stuff. So I was carrying a stroller, and it was hard to make my way through.
I was told the fastest 10K is below 30 minutes. Is that true? That's coming from the Guam Running Club, around 28 to 30 minutes.
Yeah, the world record 10K is like 26 minutes.
Okay, and how about for Guam? What are people running here on Guam? What was the top runner for today's 10K? Do you know?
No, that was me.
That was
yeah. It was,
all right, perfect.
Yeah, it was 33, 36.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's close enough.
Yeah, no, it was last year I was barely under 35, so it was a big improvement.
What do you got to do to like increase your time, and is it hard to increase your time by the second, or are you going by the tenth of a second? What are you shooting for when you train for stuff like this? Is like training, right? Pretty much.
Yeah. Well, training and races is like kind of two different animals, but like for distance racing, you can drop like 30 seconds at a time, but like the faster you get, the harder it is to take any time off.
Right. So the 10K is about what, 6 miles?
Yeah, it's like 6.25 miles.
Yeah. So what are you looking at when you're trying to pace yourself in getting to the 6 miles, in also keeping your time, right? Because for me, when I run even just a mile, I'm looking at the time. I'm like half a mile. I'm like, all right, pace it, pace it.
Yeah, man. For 10K, man, like you gotta try to be as even as you can, because if you go out too fast, then you're gonna be finding yourself in a world of hurt in the way.
You'll be jello by the time you get to 3 miles, right?
Yeah, or you'll be way behind the people that you started with.
Yeah. So. Is it preferred for you to run 3 miles, the regular 5K, 10K? Do you ever go for half marathons or marathons?
Yeah, no. I've done marathons and half marathons, and like each depends on like if I'm preparing for it or not, like that I enjoy it. Right. If I just try to jump in a half marathon like without really training for it, then I probably hate it. What does
your training regimen look like when you're trying to run maybe like a 10K? 10K is a little bit more difficult, I can imagine, for you.
Yeah.
Than a 5K. 5K is like a breeze, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of it's second nature already. 5K, but 10K is, I don't know, it's a weird type of pacing because you can't go too slow like a marathon or half marathon, but you can't go as fast as a 5K.
For sure. I mean, to hit 33 minutes and come in as the top runner, right? It's got to be mile 1, mile 2, kind of booking it, mile 3, kind of settling down the pace. Like, what do you feel it in your body? Are you using your watch to sort of set your pace?
Yeah. Well, I kind of look at my watch the first mile just to make sure I'm not going too fast. But just naturally, because the adrenaline and you're fresh, like the first mile is usually a little faster than the rest. But today, like my splits, which are your times per mile, were pretty steady. Like I don't think I was off a pace by more than like 5 seconds.
And that's for you in your eyes, that's considered good.
Yeah, because once you start like dropping, slowing down by 10, 15 seconds, then that means you're hurting. Yeah, so
that means your ankles are hurting.
Yeah, it means you stayed up too late the night before. Yeah.
What is your sleeping schedule like the night before the race, or even not even just sleeping schedule, but what are you trying to eat? What are you trying not to eat the night before a race?
Well, thinking yesterday I ate pho, and so I try not to eat something too heavy, something that will digest fast. And like an ideal world, I'd sleep before 10. If I'm racing at 5:45 in the morning. But last night I slept at probably 2:30, and then woke up at 3:30 because my son was asking for apple juice, and and then I had to wake up at 4:30 for the race.
So the children kind of makes you adjust your schedule so that you can take care of family life, but not only that, take care of yourself and trying to get to the race.
So I got at least an hour.
So you slept for about 3 hours, 2 hours, and still came in the top 10K finisher under 35 minutes, which is what beat your previous time by 2 minutes.
So I think if you add up all the hours I slept, it was probably more than I ran for the race. So
what is sort of going through your mind as you're running? Are you listening to music? Are you thinking deeply about certain things?
Well, today, like, I was racing against my friend Ryan Matienzo, so like that's all I thought about was, you know, just try not to lose, and because we were racing neck and neck the whole way.
Still trying to keep it competitive.
Like I couldn't think about anything else.
So when you find yourself being neck and neck with another person, when do you start picking up your pace in order to get a leg up on him? Is it a matter of strides? Is it a matter of how much you're pushing your body forward to gain that leg on them?
Well, you gotta kind of play it by ear, like you know, like you're not just racing. You know, it's not just about time. It's about like figuring out your opponent, like kind of like a boxing match or something.
So he's definitely someone you've ran with.
Yeah,
before.
so like you pick up their tendencies and you know like what they do and what's outside of their capabilities. So I know he likes to surge, like which is like pick up the pace for, you know, maybe a few seconds, and
right.
So but like I know that once he finishes surging, I can catch up. I just have to sustain that surge while he's doing it, and you know, not give up while he pulls away for that, you know, 20-30 seconds. So he surged at the turnaround, and you know, he put maybe 20 meters ahead, and then he surged again with 2 miles to go, and then with 1 mile to go, and I didn't.
You popped the NOS, huh? You popped the NOS with 1 mile to go?
No, he popped the NOS with 1 mile to go, and then I tried to make sure I'm within striking distance. And then right before you get to like the Tsur Island place, he surged again, and so I figured that would be probably his last attempt to try to pull away. And so I surged a little and made sure he didn't. I kind of, you know, allowed him to surge, but I made sure I didn't fall back. And then I pulled up.
Far. I mean, 20 meters is a good amount of time. Maybe that's about 2 or 3 seconds behind.
It's about 3 seconds. Yeah. But right when we turned after Boat Basin into that road to the finish, I pulled up to him right before Jamaican Grill, and that's the 6 mile mark. And you know, I went all out to finish it off, and luckily, like he
pop the boosters real quick.
So like at that moment, like I didn't hold anything back, and I didn't look back, because if I did, like, you know, I kind of wanted to imagine he was right behind me just in case. And so like if I looked back and he wasn't there, then you know I could let up.
Yeah, you can possibly slow down your own pace.
Yeah. So so luckily, you know, I came away with the win today, but you know, anything could have happened. It was pretty close.
Yeah, man, that's very interesting how when you're a runner and you're not just running casually, you make it competitive with your fellow runners to realize like, all right, I got you next 5K.
Yeah,
right?
No, that's the thing. Like, it's weird because, you know, me and Ryan are friends and like good friends off the race course, but like, you know, once the gun goes off, like I want to kill him.
Yeah, it's like, go sit over there. Stand right over there. Yeah. Hey, can you stand right in front of him so that you can block him a little bit?
Yeah.
To keeping pace, what is the thing about? Is there such thing as drag? Sort of catching someone's drag as they're running, or you're running behind them?
Yeah. There's like drafting, but
drafting. Okay.
Yeah. But I'm a little bit taller than Ryan, so like I wouldn't get, you know, much of an advantage like staying right behind him.
Right.
So like I kind of just run next to him just to, you know, match pace. So.
It's much easier that way.
Yeah, and like it's kind of like I don't know, it's not a illegal move. It's just like, come on, man. Like, if you're right behind me, like, it's,
Right on your toes, right?
yeah, it's like,
Or heels.
yeah, like, it's a jerk move. Like, I guess if you try to like tell someone like that, but I don't know, like,
But competitively, it seems like it may be the okay thing to do, right?
yeah, if there's a pack, then it's acceptable.
Yeah.
Like, but if it's just one person, then it's like, yeah, you probably shouldn't do it.
Right. How many 5Ks are you looking to, or 10Ks are you looking to join this season? Do you run by seasons? It seems like there's a 5K every single weekend.
Yeah, no, it depends. There's usually like a big race I try to train for in the year, like a long race, like a marathon or something.
Yeah.
But and then all the races leading up to that are kind of test runs. But right now I'm not training for anything specific. Like, I'm still gonna run the United Guam Marathon, but I think I'm only doing the half at that one.
Okay.
But not sure if I'm doing any marathons this year.
How many Kick the Fats have you ran since its inception, since you started running?
Man, well, I've been running since I was 4, so I've been going to this since I was somewhere in elementary, and when it was like
Really? Since the very beginning?
Yeah, since it was like a hot dog on the shirt. Like,
Really?
Yeah, it was an Oscar Mayer T-shirt.
What's your What's your
So,
earliest, I guess, memory of the first one that you went to?
well, I just know that it got bigger every year. When I did it in high school one year, I took the wrong turn to the finish, and like 5 other people followed me. So we ended up running like probably 400 meters too much. But I ended up still winning. But yeah, like
Not only did I take the wrong turn, but
there was a bunch of us that ran a little longer. Yeah. So we're supposed to turn into Jamaican Grill, but I went to Chief Kapua Loop and did a whole lap around Paseo first. And then,
it's like I'm just gonna run this extra lap and then finish before everybody.
yeah, so yeah, I learned my lesson after that.
Follow the signs, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that was senior year. So
What does it take for you? I mean, it seems competitively you would have a target on your back to be like, let's take down Derek Mendel this year or this year. What do you do to sort of keep that momentum up for as long as you have?
Well, like every year, there's always, well, Ryan's always there, so like, I always have to watch out for him. But kind of every year, there's like a new high school runner to look out for, and it's just a matter of, toughing it out, I guess, making sure that like you have the mental side still.
Right.
So yeah.
Well, man, this was great, dude.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining. We got a couple more talks and conversations here to go, and if you can invite people to come over and listen to the podcast, and I'm sure everyone here so far has enjoyed listening to you talk. I mean, you've been Guam's top runner for a very, very long time, and honestly, I don't see you slowing down. We're about the same age, dude, and I remember your name like being raved in the papers and just always at the top.
Yeah.
Since I can remember first hearing your name, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's been a while. I realized that I was in high school, maybe I graduated 2004, and that's 16 years already. So
Damn, 16
Yeah.
years. Oh my goodness. But Derek, thank you, my brother,
All right.
and congratulations on another win in the 10K. And even though you didn't take a wrong turn and lap everyone for a little bit, it still made it for a good time. Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. Thank you. Thanks.
All right. Hey, we'll do it in studio sometime.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me know.
Thank you,
All right,
brother.
boo.
All right.
All right, thanks.
All right. Uncle Mike, Auntie Marie.
Hey, hey.
Hey,
Thank
welcome.
you.
Thank
Thank
you
you for coming on the show. And we'll get to you, ma'am, in a little bit. And look at this turnout.
This is awesome. I can't believe this. Every year I get more amazed than the year before. It's pretty awesome. I'm so happy that Derek remembered the hot dog on the T-shirt. that definitely back in the day when we did that didn't have the sophistication of this
Where did this all come from?
Well, okay, I'll give you a little backstory here. And it's funny because Auntie Marie's here, right, and we kind of came up with this idea. When this actually was started with Market Wholesale.
Okay.
And what Market Wholesale was a distributor of craft and Oscar Mayer and stuff like that. So Oscar Mayer came out with a fat-free line, line of cheese and cold cuts and things of that sort. So we came up with this idea. Well, actually, Auntie Marie came up with the idea. Let's call it Kick the Fat, and it was to push our fat-free, processed meat, right? Not necessarily the healthiest thing in the world. And it was crazy because you see out here, you got everything coming out from oranges.
Healthy enough.
Well, it's kind of funny. We had you got apples, you got oranges, all the good stuff that's out here, right? What I did was I had all our sales guys put together trays of wrapped up cheese and meat, right? Fat-free though, right? But these guys are coming through the race, and we have, instead of apples and bananas, we have trays of processed meat. People are looking at us like, what the heck is this? You're trying to feed us this butt. But after everybody cooled down, that thing went fast, so it was pretty cool.
Right.
Yeah, it was awesome. We did that. We did that for 2 years. The problem was it didn't really push the line as like we thought in terms of generating sales. It just didn't do as well as we thought.
It wasn't translating from runners to seeing the product to buying it in the stores. Yeah.
It was a great race. The first year we had 700 runners, which at that time was huge, right? And then the next year was even bigger. I mean, it was real well done. It was a great race. A lot of people came out.
Around what year was this?
This was about 19. Well, let's see. This race is 24, right? So we're going 26. So 26 years ago, whichever. Do the math and go backwards, right? So that's when we did it, right? So after,
95.
Yeah. So after we did it, I said, I don't think we're going to continue to do this because it didn't really push the product, right? And that's what it was for.
The whole point, yeah.
The whole point. But then Kathy and Payless took over. And, of course, they just grew it into this. And I think 1 year we topped out at over 4,000 runners. So it's just been, just look at it. It's pretty awesome. It's nice to see. You got runners, like Derek coming out, and some of those real high-caliber runners. But then we got, everybody else coming out as well. So it's a real nice
casual
mix of
runners to the masters runners, people who's been running for
grandmas.
Running for a really long time. Yeah,
absolutely. So it's been fun. It's kind of nice because this is really one of the things that the Payless employees really come on out, and a lot of our vendors and stuff like that, a lot of our partners, they come out as well. But it's one thing that our employees really come out in full force. They get behind it. They've been planning this for, a couple months now. And they've been having a lot of meetings. All these guys are doing this on their own time, So all the proceeds, they go to a lot of different charities that the Payless Community Foundation, Marie and her team, they run. Where are we going to put the money and where it's going to be donated to?
Right. When did it become something to give back to the community?
Actually, it always was from the get-go.
Okay.
But and it was mainly Payless was doing it. But then when the Payless Community Foundation was formed, that's when we started doing where the proceeds would go into there. And then the foundation, had a kind of a mission, and Marie can talk about that a little bit better. Had a mission, what was important to the foundation, and that's where the monies go to.
Right.
It's pretty cool.
Right. So if you want to expand on what Uncle Mike was saying on how the money gets pushed out to the different beneficiaries, right?
Yeah.
Sure. Go ahead.
So in 2006, the Payless Community Foundation was formed, and basically our mission is to give back to the community in the specific focus areas of education, social services, the environment, and health. And this year we focused in on health specifically, but for years, from its inception, the whole idea was giving back to the community. The difference was Payless, in the inception, in the initial years, we chose the beneficiaries. There were probably 2 or 3 that we chose and we felt strongly about. And then it turned into a mini grant application process where we advertised to the community. You could send in your request for a request for proposal and submit it to the board. We reviewed probably 18 to 20 just this year alone, and each year it's about the same. We max out at $5,000 per awardee and beneficiary, but we've chosen 4 this year. And I'm proud to say that this year we've got UOG Endowment Foundation. We've got Manietlu, which is formerly Big Brothers Big Sisters.
Okay.
We have Snake Pit Wrestling Academy. And last one
is the Duk Duk Goose,
the
right?
Duk Duk Mihi Kids.
Mihi Kids,
so,
right.
And all of these are going to help support the specific area of health, better health in our community. So we're really proud of that.
Right. How have you seen, I guess, how as Kick the Fat has evolved, how people are at least taking it in, and how maybe the diets have changed of the how do I say this? How the diets have changed of people who are joining it. You know, I mean, especially those who have been running it for 10, 20 years. You see maybe people like losing weight and really becoming more active. As Miss, remind me of your name again? Miss
Julie Yamamoto.
Miss Julie Yamamoto. She said this was the reason, right? She started to lose a bunch of weight, and then this is her 12th, 10th year doing this, 15th year doing this, right? So it's obviously become a life changer for a lot of people, which maybe can contribute to the fact why people continually just keep coming and coming.
I think the health issue, running started when I got back in '89. There was a smaller running community, and it was the running club mainly with longer runs, and maybe I want to say a select few. It morphed over the last 20, 25 years into
just running in general.
Oh, well, I'm just talking running, but even the health craze. Now, I mean, in every corner, you're going to see a gym. You're going to see people, if it's not at a custom fitness or CrossFit
right,
gym.
like a CrossFit box, yep.
Yeah, everybody, it's morphed into something much larger. And the beauty about Kick the Fat and of course, Payless is they're a food distribution or retail outlet, and we need to pair all of these. And right here at the Kick the Fat event, you're seeing all of that come together. So
Yeah, it is kind of cool. You know, like you were saying, there's so many more gyms. There's so many more different sports. You can always get basketball leagues, soccer leagues, flag football leagues, all these different things. So people are relatively active. But one thing that's kind of nice is we've been able to couple that with also a healthier eating lifestyle, right? So at Payless, we have a dietitian that's on staff that can help anybody with their dietary needs, creating different types of menus. We have our Edu-Kitchens where we can actually show people how to cook the product properly. And then, of course, there's been an explosion on our Health Smart type items, right? So we have a lot of natural and organic products in our stores. It's actually one of the higher, has one of the best growth, year-over-year growth compared to some of the other departments, right? So we're real proud of it. So it's everything, basically. It's not only coming out and exercising here in the morning like Julie's doing and looking so awesome,
I know, it's so young at 75 years old, right?
She can run a 10K to speed I can do a 5K, which is, and, but it's nice to see that. But then, of course, being able to take that and say, okay, you ran your race, you did really well, but let's finish it by, having a great healthy meal when you get home, and we're able to provide the products for that. So we're real proud of it.
Right. This is sort of the first time the festival is becoming a thing of part of the Kick the Fat, right?
No, actually, the festival has been part of it for a while. We've always offered. We've had a lot of chiropractors coming out. We've had different organizations come out, nonprofits come out. We've had people. We do blood screening and things of that sort.
Okay, understand.
It's not enough just to go out and exercise, right? A lot of us like to go out and exercise. But then you got to finish that off with a healthier lifestyle at home.
Right.
So that's kind of what we're trying to push, and it's been well received. And that's the great thing about it. It's been really, really well received, and I think that it's going to continue to grow. And we really want to see is more of that, more gyms, even more stores. Not necessarily just Payless, but more stores getting out there offering healthier alternatives.
Healthier options besides the war ration diet that we're used to, right? I mean, I think of Spam. I'm like, I'm gonna go make some fried rice right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So.
But then I was over there and I had the little chia seed dip with the banana.
Good, right?
I was like, whoa,
it's good.
Blown away.
Yeah. Shoot, the other day, Rose made tanaktak, and it wasn't meat. It was actually a mushroom. Yeah, it was made out of a mushroom, but it was delicious. So it's like, hey, you can still eat good while eating healthy. And that's really what we're trying to push.
Right.
And I'm glad this is a podcast that no one can look at me and say, well, you don't look like you're practicing what you preach there, Mike.
We didn't bring the cameras.
No videos here, right? All right, so that's good.
Yeah. I'm out. If you like, I could talk to the runners. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
That's Marie. I mean, you're an avid runner. You're one of Guam's Thank you, Mike. You're one of Guam's long distance runners. You've also ran in the Olympics. Like, where did running all start for you?
Oh, geez. Probably when I was just
You can go ahead. Go ahead, Marie. I'll fix her. There you go. And you can just talk right into there.
Yes. Activity has been something in our family. My dad used to walk around the neighborhood, and I'd get out there and join him. And then my sister Kathy was an avid runner, and she kind of pulled me in. And back in the day, she just said, "Let's run." We didn't have Garmin's. We didn't have, nothing to time us. We just went out and ran, and that's kind of how I got my start in running.
When did you know you had the bug?
Early on, I want to say I ran my first half marathon probably when I was 16, 17, and I got hooked. And I went away for a couple years in college, came back with a couple of kids, and it had taken off already here on Guam. You had a very stable running community. It was small, but the Guam Running Club, I think they were founded sometime in the 70s. And so I latched on to that. And there's always been races on Guam. There's always been an interest for running, for health, but it's definitely grown to like the mainstream. And you'll just, it's nice to know that Kick the Fat kind of helped set the benchmark for many people. So this is their first race, or the race that they look to each year to kind of use as a guide as to how well they're doing, how well they're conditioned.
Right, comparing it to the last Kick the Fat that they did.
Exactly.
Right.
It's a nice flat course. It's run, we moved it from March to January. It's definitely cooler weather.
Yeah, I was telling Derek, I was like, man, I wonder if there's a big difference for runners, to be running in January where it's like nice. And it's almost like Hawaii weather, right?
Well, they always say that, if it's going to heat up to anything over 70, you're probably not going to run your PR. So for us, we don't have a choice, but that 5-10 degrees and run with cooler temperatures, because by summertime at 6 a.m. when the gun goes off, sun's about
ready.
up.
Yeah.
At 6 o'clock in January, it's still dark.
Right.
So it's definitely cooler, a cooler race. So I think faster times. And if any indication, Derek and Ryan Mentenz's race today was testament to that. He ran a 33.
Yeah.
6, I believe, unofficial.
Yeah, I was even like, I'm not too sure who finished top, and he goes, oh yeah, that was me.
Oh, it was awesome. Yeah, I heard they were battling it out there, but that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's best.
Yeah.
You are the best.
Well, tell us a little bit about yourself, because this lady has been breaking all kinds of records for her age division for many years.
Miss Julie Yamamoto, yeah. How about just give us a background on when running started for you?
I started, that was my birthday, March 20, and I was making 60 years old. I needed something new. I don't want to feel like 60 years old. And one of my friends told me about
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. Julie, you just won, and they're calling you to the stage. To go to the stage and pick up your award. Yeah, sorry, bye-bye.
So Miss Julie will be back to finish her story here.
She's amazing, yeah. So she uses the Kick the Fat race as her benchmark, and truth be told is she knew nothing about running.
Look, she just sprinted off.
After, yep, 75, sorry, Julie. 75 years old. And the woman is amazing.
Yeah.
She's, I think she's a hairdresser / realtor / phenomenal grandma and runner. So she picked it up at age 60.
Late in her years already, yeah.
I think it was just like all of us. She was approaching that golden age, that golden number, and was like, I got to start doing something. And that's what we hope people get spurred to do with Kick the Fat is, for whatever reason, whatever motivates you, is come out and do it. And the beauty about walking and running is you don't necessarily need a whole lot of skill just to get out there and do it,
Right.
Then use that to spur you on to either faster times, longer distances, whatever it might be. But for her, it was turning 60 was fearful for her, and as it is for many women. So she took it on, and she said, I'm going to do this Kick the Fat. She knew nothing about it. A friend of hers said, come join. So a few days ahead of the race, she said she started to practice. Okay, I don't recommend that, but
Oh, there it is.
she's back. She's back, the
There.
winner. Congratulations.
So you came back with the medal. You were today's top female runner for the 5K.
Woohoo.
Oh, nice. Yeah, go ahead and adjust that as
off the
necessary. So yeah, how long have you been finishing in the top? We just had finished talking about how running the Kick the Fat was a benchmark for you to sort of make a lifestyle change,
Yes,
right?
it is. Before that, I wasn't exercising at all. I didn't know anything about the 5K. I was just so busy life, running my business, raising 2 children, and my children is very, very athletic that time. I was just following them and make sure they're okay.
You didn't know the genes actually for their athleticism came from you, yeah?
I didn't know that. People ask me how they did. My son was triathlete, age 13 years old, everything first place, until he went to even Olympic Games.
Really?
In Barcelona.
Okay.
Yeah, and he became Ironman.
Wow, Barcelona was in the 80s?
92.
92? Okay,
92,
okay.
right before he went to college, when he was in high school.
Okay.
Yeah, he was cycling. And he can go swimming, or he qualified for swimming or cycling. And he went to college. Now he became Ironman. See, I'm wearing Ironman.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you're not familiar with the Ironman, it's one of the toughest races in the world today, yeah?
And he is #1 in Hawaii Estate.
Really?
Yeah, in Kona Ironman, Kona
Okay.
in Hawaii. Anyway, and that's how I started, Kick the Fat. And my friend tell me, what? I said, what's the Kick the Fat? And I'll think about it. And I never been run. I just walk that time. And I never been run, but I thought myself, I don't want to feel 60. I need to do something. And I came to the 5K in Payless. Wow, so many people already. Like that time already, like almost 2,000 people running, and it was so exciting. And I run. I'm running myself, that race. I'm talking to myself, Julie, don't walk. Keep running. I'm sure I was just slow, and when they give award, I came first place.
On your first try.
First try.
Of trying to run.
That gives me motivate. And since after that, mostly every 5K I was attending. That my first 5K, 30 minute 18. And next 5K, I'm just raising myself, my time.
Right.
29 minutes, another one, 28 minutes, 27. My best time was, this is after 60 years old, 23 minutes, 53 seconds.
Wow,
goodness.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
That sounds like my 1 mile.
And I did half a marathon too.
Yeah.
I did it really well. A lot of, not you, but like marathon runners was behind me when I finished it. Wow, that was first and last. Actually, the long ones. I do 10Ks, 5Ks nowadays.
So what do you do to at least when you're not running to upkeep your health and upkeep you finishing in keeping yourself finishing in first place? Like, what do you do outside of running to keep your health up and sort of keep yourself in condition?
Yes.
To keep running.
First thing, I run mostly every single morning. I get up 5 o'clock, 5:30 to 6:30, an hour. Every day, I keeping myself, good health. And of course, like they talking about Payless, I eat good food, vegetables and fruits. Every morning, my breakfast is all different kind of breakfast, and then fruits and vegetables, and I don't eat any oily food. It's just my body built it. I don't like oil.
No fried foods.
No. No deep fry at all.
Right.
Yes.
The secret to longevity.
Yeah. And then I started. My daughter goes to urban gym, and so I say I'm gonna try. My daughter my daughter, Joey, she said, I don't think it's good for me, too hard. But I said, I'll try. So every day, like Monday to Saturday, I go urban gym. It's hardcore exercise, weightliftings, and all that. And I feel I'm more confident myself. Even he had a little, my husband had a little pinch nose, but he still finished a 5K. And heavy things I can lift because by that weight. And so I can more running. I'm not saying, every year age goes up and up and up. I don't feel it. And when I go physical, doctor told me my health age, 38 to 40.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
I feel that way. I don't have a problem. Thank God. I really, really thank God. You know what I'm doing? And so I start this Payless Kick the Fat Run. I really thank you for that. That's how I started. I started with the workout, and I'm going further and further, more harder working out. And everybody says, Julie, too much. You run 1 hour. I went there, and I'm still doing that hard workout.
I have to admit, I think there's a lot of sometimes misperceptions. And growing up, I have to admit, even myself included, having 4 kids, being female, there was that initial, do you think you should continue running after you have kids? Or you think, now that you're this age, it's bad for your knees?
Sort of that self-doubt.
Well, not so. Coming from outside.
Oh, okay,
people
okay.
are saying that, you got to be careful.
I see.
The only limits are the limits that you put on yourself. And
Sure.
yes,
100.
there's definitely an aging process that occurs, and our times are gonna slow. It's just biological clock that takes its toll. So we're all gonna see slower times, probably achy knees, because for somebody who's been at it for 30 plus years, there's definitely differences. You're not gonna be able to compete with the youngins with fresh legs and oxygen uptake, but to the point that you can at least come out and stay active, and like she said, is take up something new. You're entering the gym. We all know that for healthier bones, you need to do a little bit of resistance training, weight training, and you're proof positive that it doesn't take a whole lot. It just takes commitment and consistency. And I think that's what you're saying, Julie, is you've been at it for 15 years. You make it a lifestyle change each and every day that you get up. Nobody questions that you get up and you're going to have 3 meals a day, or sometimes more, sometimes less.
Or people may question it, but you know yourself already. You know what you've put yourself through, and yeah,
you see it. You see the results.
And what I'm thinking is, don't be afraid to do it. You know your body. If you're really tired, you rest, but then get up and do it. But I think here, consistency. Mostly people, they do it, they quit. They do it, they quit. No.
Or they do it right before the race, and then, okay, I won't do it again until the race is next year. But, like you said, she's up 7 days a week. That's huge. For somebody at your age, 75, man, kudos to you.
And body, I think more you do it, body adapts. Don't be afraid. Even my children, when I first doing, this is way after 60, doing half a marathon, even my son, my daughter say, Mom, too much. Don't do it. Don't do it. I would like to do more. I like to prove. And I did it so well. I finished, I think, 1 hour, 57 minutes or something, less than 2 hours. First, my half marathon.
Yeah.
So that gives me more, more
motivation to keep on going.
Energy. More I do, I feel great. And my dear husband, he never stopped. He told me when I go out the gym in the morning, I go in the evening Zumba. It's a fun Zumba class.
Do you bring your husband with you?
No, he doesn't go, but he never scold me. What's the dinner for? I can cook dinner, and he wait for me, and he cooked dinner for me. He was painless.
I got a husband like that too.
when I come back and he just start cooking.
Yeah. A role reversal,
Yeah, I think my health's like this because of him. The day when we've been married for almost 48 years.
Wow.
And the day one to until now, he doesn't change. Better and better.
Yeah, and there he is.
2 thumbs up.
And then he loves the way my shape.
Hey,
You know?
oh, here we go.
And-
Here we go. I love it.
Yeah, my shape and everything. You know, I still keeping like size 4P dress, and my slacks is a size 2. And my daughter is perfect figure. My granddaughter, when I go in the gym, this is the urban gym. 3 generations are there. Me and my daughter and my granddaughter. And he's so happy. He's taking us a picture. It's a 3 generation here.
Awesome. And I'm sure that you motivate not only your own kids and people much younger than you, but people who are your peers. Do they get motivated when they
Very much. You know, people ask me, what do you eat? And how old are you? People ask me just, how old are you? How old? You know, I forgot my age.
Yeah, honestly, I wasn't expecting you to sprint up to the stage
to go
and
get
come
your
back so
award?
fast to get your award. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
When I turned, I was like, oh, she's ready outside the tent. That was quick.
Speaking of nutrition, I'd like to call up Claire Calvo, the owner of Synergy. She's, been in the
yeah.
business of keeping people healthy, and she's got a couple of things to share with you regarding.
How about I let you 3 ladies kind of go at it together, and you can kind of do it like a takeover.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you open for that? Sure. Yeah. Here, I'm gonna jump off, and I'm gonna leave you guys to do it, and I'll come back and we'll see what how things pan out.
Okay, so we've got Claire Calvo on now from Synergy. And Claire, we were just talking about nutrition and how important that is. We've got Julie Yamamoto with us as well. But it's critical that we, here we are at Kick the Fat, and it's kind of the benchmark for many runners or health enthusiasts. And wondering if you could help give us some insight into how we want to pair, and Kick the Fat has kind of blossomed into not only the fitness side, but starting with running, walking, but also turning this whole health fair and introducing people to the screening aspect of it, making sure people know their numbers, and then moving on to eating well. And
Well, I think holistically, when it comes to health and wellness, we know holistically, obviously exercise is important. It's shown how movement, exercise not only helps our physical health, right here, look at this right here, but also the mental emotional component. I'm amazed by neuroscience, and I found out, I read something recently, how the contraction of muscles from exercise releases these protein chemicals that actually stimulate the pleasure points of the brain.
Right.
So it chemically affects like the brain to make you feel good. It helps you.
You better believe it. How tired doesn't matter. I go to gym or go to Zumba. After that, I'm brand new person again.
Yeah.
So I can do work better. I'm still working. I'm running Yamamoto Realty, and I'm still running Hair House.
Right.
2 business, running, exercise. I'm grandmother. I have 2 granddaughter, 2 grandson.
Yeah.
And
I want some of the juju beans that she's got.
Well, you've got it, Marie. Hello. You're a grandma too, and
She's
you're
high on life, and I just need a couple of those gummy bears.
yeah, look at this lady.
Yeah,
She looks
she's amazing.
forever same.
Yeah.
And
she's a
running
grandma
thing.
now, and she runs like a lot of like nonprofit organizations. She heads up a lot of things, and still, her and my sister Kathy still make the time. And I think a lot of what has to do with it is because they call it like whether it's runner's high or exercise high or movement is medicine. There's proof in the pudding, and just sitting here with the both of you, there's definite truth in that. And
I thought it was just obsessive compulsive behavior.
but it's a good thing to be obsessive and compulsive about.
Yeah.
To have that commitment and the consistency to get up every day, whether you're feeling, I've seen my sisters, and sometimes I'm like, okay, I have a migraine, but I'm going to run because it might help it go away. Or whether
that migraine will go away if I have to run.
And it's all about your perception of it, right?
Yes, in the morning, every morning I'm getting up 5 o'clock. Someday, I don't want to get up. But I don't want to lose that routine.
Yeah.
If I just tired, keep putting off, I might lose that routine.
Right.
So every single day, I'm running.
Yeah.
Rain or shine. My neighbors, I live in Summer Palace, a gated community. People driving, they can see. Even my umbrella, I'm still running outside.
Well, they say
I like
something
fresh
about
air.
habits, don't they? They
Yeah,
say how long it takes.
It takes 21 days. Like right now, we're doing the 21-day detox that Synergy's been putting on for 14 years. And a big component of it is your attitude about what you're about to embark on. Whether it's exercise, whether it's diet, or your nutritional intake, whatever it is, it is your perspective and your perception that will either create or destroy your results.
Yeah.
So if you go into something thinking, I got this, I'm going to make it happen, I'm going to commit, and I'm going to do it, then you are.
That's
if
right.
you go into it kicking and screaming like, oh man, it's raining, I don't want to do this, oh my God, detox, oh my God, what am I going to... If you come in with that attitude, then you're more likely going to fail it.
Anybody can do it. Once they made up mind, they make the mind and they do it, they can do it.
Right.
But people give up. And then so many runners here, a lot of I have friends, they come to me, how do you do this? I tell them. And then even the MC asked me, what do you eat? And can you tell the people? Sometimes they tell me that. I said, I go for vegetables and fruits and some protein foods, but even I eat meat. Some people say, are you vegetarian? How come you always look same? Since I have my daughter, she's 44 years old. 44 years, I'm only 100 pounds.
Yeah.
None change.
Same.
Same.
Yeah.
Same clothes. My wedding dress actually loose.
Right.
My body is more torn. And so that's how I
Nutrition
encourage.
is a huge component.
Yes.
And that's the thing. I think even when it comes to losing weight, like, of course, exercise is important, but nutrition, they say, is 80% of it. I feel, however, that a lot of it is also the energetic, emotional component. Because a lot of times, I've been raw vegan for 3 years. I was vegan for about 8 years. Now I have a 7-year-old, so I pretty much eat whatever. I eat leftovers. So I'm a lot more flexible with my eating, but my mindset is flexible as well. And I find when I'm not like in this stress zone of tension of, I can only eat this, I can't eat that. If you're coming into the mindset of things like so rigid, you're going to hold on energetically to food. And also studies have showed with quantum physics and epigenetics that show your attitude, the energy that you are, even just eating a meal. I eat meat now, not right now in the detox, but I do, and I just pray over it and energetically fuse it so that it's going to enter my body with an attitude of gratitude. And that way it comes in, flows, and out. But I feel like so much of when I was holding a lot more weight was when I had a mindset of fear. I had the relationship to eating, the relationship to my body, the relationship to food. So like right now with the 21-day detox, we really promote, it's fine, what we're eating and the exercise, but your relationship. Everything's about relationship. Our relationship with our bodies, our relationship to food, our relationship to movement.
Yeah, that's true.
So
I
it's
agree
like
with you.
a holistic approach. Of course, it's important to eat primarily plant-based natural foods, but you know what? If you're going to go have a Snickers or whatever, like once in a while, don't beat yourself. If you beat yourself up about it,
once in a while.
That's more toxic.
Yeah.
That's more toxic than anything you can put in your mouth. Is your attitude of fear or guilt or any of that is more toxic than whatever chemicals you put.
But people ask me, you eat very little? No, I eat a lot.
How then would you?
I eat a lot, actually.
How do you tell people who are confused about the so many different diets that exist out there? How would you address that? Because there's paleo, there's Mediterranean,
right?
There's and keto diet.
Yeah,
I mean, people are bombarded by all these different types, and I don't want to. I know that there's not one cookie cutter for everybody.
Right.
Everybody's going to tout one or the other as the premier way to eat, but I have to admit, I mean, if somebody has health conditions, chronic ailments, it may not be the optimum diet for them. So how do you, as part of a gym owner, and you run a lot of these detox programs, what can you share for our listeners?
I could share just from my personal story, my experience, and my perspective, because I've had everything from polycystic ovaries to IBS. I was diagnosed with intestinal, internal inflammation. I had a host of issues in my 20s, and it was primarily because of my lifestyle, drinking alcohol and stress primarily and eating junk, but and too much sugar. But at the end of the day, what I found, because I've been plant-based, raw plant-based, candida cleanse. I've eaten meat. I've done Mediterranean. I've done all different kinds of things. And what I found is more importantly than what I was doing at the time, it was a lot of it was really just like my mindset and the stress level. But if I were told today that I had some sort of terminal illness, of all the different things that I've tried, I would go completely plant-based. Like right now, I eat meat, like not on the detox, but usually I'll have like, once in a while I have like kaduk.
I eat meat.
I love
as long as lean meat,
yeah,
take off all the oils. I have to have a protein. The way 3 hours a day, mostly I work out.
Yeah.
And more I do, I'm more happier.
And you could also get the protein from spirulina. There's things like spirulina, chlorella, chlorophyll. There's proteins in plants that are just as high as animals. I mean, cows eat on just grass. So there's so much, not just macronutrients, but micronutrients from grass. And you could get just as much protein. And the thing about that, though, is if someone is sick, I would, like if I found out, knock on wood, that I had some sort of terminal illness, I would go completely plant-based, primarily raw.
She always been look so beautiful.
Oh, definitely.
She was school in the cathedral school. My son's classmate. Yeah.
Several years ago, just what we won't say how long ago. But you look great.
I'm proud
there.
to say I'm 46.
There you go. Age is just a number, girl.
So beautiful.
Well,
you guys, your sisters, everyone. It's such even brother, good looking and beautiful.
And same with your family. You guys are really truly role models. I mean, you growing up just seeing, older sister and moms who are really taking care of themselves, it inspires us and motivates us to live that same lifestyle.
Yeah, my son is pretty athletic. My daughter is athletic now. My grandson, he's a swimmer and runner.
Wow.
And he represent run. He cross country. He did it like cross country run. He did number 3.
Wow.
So he represents St. John's School.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And just to kind of round this out, we've talked a little bit about kick the fat, and the fitness element, of course, and then nutrition. But you've got something going on within the next 2 weeks. And we're talking about kind of the spiritual, just to round it out, that, there's something you whatever you want to call it, whether it's euphoria or that after runner's high, after workout high, but what we've got with Soulcation and this whole mindfulness.
Yeah. So we started last year, myself, Synergy Wellness, Synergy Studios, as well as for Winter Cultures, Jenny Kaufman. She's just opening up her shop, amazing plant-based foods, and Retitin Eco Beach Resort. So this is going to be the first one of this year.
Yeah.
Have a day.
Hi.
So we had 3 last year. This will be the first of this year. It's Soulcation 2020, and we're doing it on the full moon.
Is that the one over at Retitin
Eco Beach? Yeah.
Yeah, I follow you on Instagram, so it's I see everything that you're doing, and I think it's really cool. And you even do your own podcast, so make sure you promote your podcast on this show, okay?
Thank you. It's Conscious Living.
Okay.
Conscious Living. That was the name of the nonprofit organization I started back in, 2008. Then kind of went inactive for a while, but bringing it back. So yeah, Soulcation it's going to be. We did 3 last year, and it's everything all-inclusive, holistic of mind, body, soul, omelet. I call it omelet for the mind, body, and soul. Because it's everything from Fu'una Cultures. Jenny Kaufman makes amazing plant-based, high-vibing food. Put some omelet in there too, but some of them. And of course, at Retitin Eco Beach, it's such an auspicious space. I mean, you feel the energetic, the ancestral energy of that space.
Agreed.
And so you couple all that with yoga, ashtanga, vinyasa, yin, gentle, all different types of yoga. We have ecstatic dance, movement therapy. We've had capoeira. We've had all different kinds of movement, just moving the body. And then we have meditation. This time last year we've had specific, we make marmar meditation. We would try as much as possible to include traditional and cultural things into the retreat.
Do you consider it sort of like a cleansing, like a cleanse?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Because not only are you eating her high-vibing plant-based food, but you're also surrounded in, what better place? You're glamping literally on. And I don't really stay in the glamps. I like to just do the hammock. So either be in the hammock on their beach bed,
Right.
and it's a full moon weekend. Energetically, I mean, you just feel like the amazing vibe of the space. And then also coupled with all the different meditation, yoga, we have a lot of sharing and like there's going to be a little discourse on plant-based nutrition.
Okay.
So it's totally like a mind, body, spirit cleanse, omelet for the soul.
Nice. Nice. Do you engage in meditation or anything like that?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. Thank God. My husband too. We don't take any medication.
No. Meditation
Oh, meditation.
for the
Oh,
mind, like sort of. What do you do to cleanse your mind?
Just relax.
I'm sure your running is part of your meditation. There's moving meditation. So maybe when you're running, because meditation is really just being in the moment.
My medication
I agree,
is
I agree.
actually pray.
Yeah.
In the morning, I'm not sprint running. I'm just running.
Nice. Yeah,
And
yeah.
whole hour I pray. Pray to the God. And after that, I feel so good. Good breakfast, and I go to gym 8 to 9. 8 to 9:30.
Can I just share a quick story on that as far as praying while you're running?
Sure.
My sister Marie, we did years ago. I rarely run with Marie and Kathy anymore because they do way too many miles for me. But I'll stick to like yoga and kickbox. But anyway, so we did the Menengan run. And that was, our parents they marched down to Menengan.
Okay.
Our parents are 85, 86 this year. And it was such the emotion involved in doing. I mean, literally, we're taking their same path, except we're in sneakers, being, guided by, they were doing that barefoot, not knowing
Right.
what the next minute was what's gonna happen. So as we were doing it, we got a little emotional. We're like, let's say the rosary. So we said the rosary for that it was like a 14-mile run from Nimitz Beach down to Menengan, and that because how Ms. Yamamoto was saying how when you pray when you run, that really is a beautiful, moving meditation.
For sure. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not even something I would kind of think of doing. When I run, it's more like, please don't get tired.
So you listen to
Please,
pumped up music.
yeah, I'm like, please, just don't get tired. I mean, I just started.
Yeah, I thank God for everything. So what I have, what I'm doing, and this good health. Without God, how I'm here,
Yeah.
I really pray, sometimes to ask something too. Even Bible says, you knock door, God open heart for us too. So
For sure.
yeah, that's what I do.
For sure, man. And I'm sure it's helped with the longevity. I mean, you just taking care of your body as a whole and you deciding to make that lifestyle change
Yes.
is a big contributor
Yes.
to where you are today right now. Yeah.
And also, I never feel old. Whatever my face shows.
She had mentioned earlier.
can help
She had mentioned earlier that her physical at her physical, she has the health of a 38 to 40-year-old.
How health age?
Health age.
So my doctor
Wow.
said you don't have to worry about your counting the number age. Your health age is your real age.
And it's 30.
38 to 40.
So it's appropriate to say, girl, dancing.
So like you said, it's mentally. I
Wow.
feel that way.
That's amazing.
Right?
Congratulations.
Yeah. And my figure, I mean, earlier I thought I wear size 2, my slacks,
Uh-huh.
and dresses 4P. Can you imagine this age I could do it?
That's incredible.
I'm proud of myself too.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's definitely commendable. Commendable.
I hope
I gotta go take down my synergy.
Okay. Yeah. Go for it. Go for it.
I invite you to come in, maybe not the 21-day detox, 'cause I know it's long.
Yeah.
Come up to this location and just experience it.
Sure. Yeah. How about
I'll
you come
give
on my
you- I
podcast
will.
and we'll talk some more and
Good.
yeah. Okay. I'll be in contact. Thank
I
you.
always like to get a different perspective. Someone who would usually come to a yoga retreat, but you don't have to do the whole glam thing, but even just for a day.
Okay. Sure. Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me
Okay.
on.
No problem.
Bye.
And
Yeah.
I would like to encourage the people.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would like to, every runners, even not runners, I would like to encourage them to just do whatever they like to do in sports. Just consistent do it. Don't give up. They can do it like me, my age. I mean, I have
No
medals,
excuses, right?
trophies, and everything. I'm confident. Any run, I'm here, I'm first place.
I love it. I love the confidence that you exude. I love the aura. You can see your aura and the happiness. I mean, the smile on your face after you've just finished a 5K and beat out everybody in your division. You know, it's very inspiring, and I hope that, you know, when I do reach those years, that I keep you in mind.
Thank you.
to keep my health up and to improve, you know, everything around me to help my health age be 38 to 40 years old.
Thank you very much.
Miss Julie,
really nice
thank
meeting
you so much for joining me. And yeah, if you're listening to this on the podcast, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. You're good. You're good. You're good. I'm just gonna close out the show here. And if you're listening to this is live at Kick the Fat. You can hear everything going on right now, and it's just been amazing. We've had amazing people come on the show and to do this episode, and I'm just completely blown away. Just completely blown away. People came to listen, people came to try it out, curious about the headphones, and not only that, we had a conversation going for an entire hour and 15 minutes.
What's up, guys?
An entire hour, which is amazing. Tiva,
Super awesome.
while you were hanging out there, what is your before we close this out, we're going to close this out soon. You know, everyone's kind of left, so we've been here since around 4:30, 4 o'clock, 4:30, setting up. We saw everybody when there was nobody here, and now it became thousands of people. Now we're down to the last maybe like 500 people. And
they want to win the raffle, the grand prize. So that's pretty cool. Man, out there, it was so awesome. Everyone had so much energy. And from the beginning of people showing up, the early birds, barely talking, and you're like, oh, yeah, we're excited. Yeah, woohoo. And then all of a sudden, all of the pre-warm-ups happening. Everyone's blood started, flowing and having a good time. Everyone, had a great time, man, and it was fun talking to everybody, and this whole experience was pretty cool. Got a lot of people interested and listening, and they were just freaking out at the technology, so there's nowhere really to go but up from here.
Dude, I'm definitely looking forward to doing the 25th anniversary. I love it. I love it. I love this. I love this atmosphere. It's super early, and we're talking like it's 5 p.m. right now.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So if you're listening to this, thank you so much for sticking around to the end of the podcast. We had some incredible people come on the show in this last hour, and I just hope that this continues on. Thank you. Take care of each other. Take care of yourself. Take care of your health, and be knowledgeable about what you're putting into your body so that the output is always good energy, good vibes. And until next time, peace out, everybody.
See you later.
Peace.
Hey guys, thanks so much for listening to this episode of the podcast, the Kick the Fat 2020 live podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. That shit was extremely fun. But shout out to the sponsor, Payless One. They are your one-stop for organic and natural products and education. Go shop, learn, and stay healthy at Payless One today. Open 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. daily next to the Dedito Payless. Don't forget to sort of support us on Patreon. Don't forget to review the podcast on the Apple Podcast app if you are into that. Leave a review, leave a rating. It really helps us through the charts and stuff like that. And it'd be cool. It'd be really fun. And if all the other platforms do it, please, if you don't mind, do so. And the only thing I gotta say is take care of each other, love each other. See ya.